On the outskirts of a quiet town, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to scrape the sky, lay the forest of eternal shadow. The locals avoided it at all costs. Legend had it that anyone who heard a whistle among the trees was doomed. The warning was clear: never follow the sound, and above all, never whistle back. The most famous story was about Mateo, a young logger who ventured into the forest one night in search of his dog, which had run off chasing something in the dark. Mateo never returned, but some claimed that if you listened carefully, you could hear his screams mingling with a high-pitched whistle carried by the wind. Mariana, a paranormal enthusiast and self-proclaimed skeptic, decided to investigate. She had heard the tale countless times and was determined to debunk it. Armed with a camera, flashlight, and audio recorder, she ventured into the forest on a moonless night. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the crunch of leaves under her boots. As she delved deeper, the air grew colder, and her flashlight began to flicker. Mariana turned on her recorder and began narrating her observations. After what felt like hours of walking, the first whistle pierced the air. It was high-pitched, drawn out, and seemed to come from every direction at once. She froze, her heartbeat thundering in her ears, but saw nothing. "It's just the wind," she muttered, trying to convince herself. The whistle sounded again, louder this time, and her flashlight died completely. Gathering her nerve, Mariana whistled back, daring to challenge the legend. The forest fell into absolute silence. Even the insects seemed to have vanished. A chill ran down her spine as she caught movement in the corner of her eye. It wasn't an animal. It was tall, humanoid, but its limbs were unnaturally long and its movements were erratic like a spasmodic twitch. Mariana tried to back away, but the whistle came again, this time directly behind her. She spun around to find herself face to face with the creature. It had no eyes, but its face was covered with small, gaping mouths, all whistling in unison. Mariana screamed and ran, but the forest seemed to stretch endlessly, the trees shifting to block her path. The audio recorder recovered. Days later captured the moment the whistling escalated into a deafening shriek. The camera showed brief glimpses of the creature before falling to the ground. The final image was Mariana's face, frozen in a mix of terror and resignation, just before she was dragged into the darkness. Days later, villagers found the camera, hanging from a tree branch, its batteries fully charged as if someone had left it there intentionally. Since then, more people have vanished in the forest of eternal shadow, and the whistles seem to be inching closer to the town.